Morning everyone, it's James here from Raunik Industries. We're out with Ekodeck and we're going to show you how to build a subframe for your deck. So for this particular project we're using 90 by 45 joists and 90 by 45 laminated for our bearers. Okay, so the first step is to work out our design and board layout, which we've already worked out with the boards to minimise wastage and incorporate breaker boards and a picture frame. So we're going to have a breaker board down the centre here, picture frame all the way around, and a set of long steps down this way leading to the lawn. So the deck comes out just shy of 3 metres, so it's important to mark out the end of our deck, which will be there. Typically 90 by 45 joists will give you a span of 1.5 metres continuous. That is a little bit under the maximum threshold because we like the deck to be solid. For our bearers, 90 by 45 laminated will also span around 1.5. So we've marked out where our bearers are going to go. Now we're going to run a string line from edge to edge, which will show us where the bearer is running. On our mark there, and that string line highlights our first bearer. All right, so we've roughly marked out the perimeter of the deck. Next is to mark out our locations for our footings. We're marking out our footings every 1.5 metres. This is where our posts will go. Now that the footings have been marked out, we need to attach our Waling plate to the house. That will be our reference point for the height of the deck, so that's important that we do that next. The Waling plate, for those that don't know, is what your joists sit on. The deck's going to finish on this brick sill, so we work down from that. So to work that out, we're using 90 by 45 joist and the Waling plate is 90mm. Just go 90mm down and that will be the top of our Waling plate. Now we're going to drill holes into our Waling plate so that we can attach anchor screws into the house. Roughly every 400 apart. Obviously the closer apart they are, the stronger it is going to be when you connect it to the house. So now we're attaching our 10mm by 100mm long anchor screws into the house. Being outdoor, make sure you use galvanised. If it's around a pool, you want to use 316 stainless steel. Now that Waling plate's all done, we'll put a pause on our framing and we're going to start on our footings. We're using 90 by 90 H4 treated pine posts for this job. We'll aim to dig our holes 300 wide and anywhere between 600 to 900 deep until we hit a hard surface. We're allowed to use 2 bags of concrete per footing, then we'll backfill it with soil. So there's many different ways to work out the length of your post, but we're just going to do it by running our spirit level from our Waling plate level to where our bearer will be, measure down into the hole, and you've got around 800mm. That's the length of this post. So we've worked out the approximate height that length that our posts need to be. We're going to cut them to size. We do a nice notch like this, which our bearers will then sit on. It's important that when you cut open the treated pine, that you spray the cuts with EcoSeal. It's a timber preservative and stops this area of the cut rotting away. All right, so even though that we're using H4 posts, which are made to go into the ground, they are made to withstand moisture and go into soil. We do like to give any timber that goes in the ground a bit of extra protection with bitumen paint. So this is an in-ground timber protector, which gives it a nice solid coating against moisture and any decay that might happen over a long period of time. Quite simply, cake it on, ideally 2 coats, all the way around of the surface area that will be sitting in the ground. We'll go along and do this to each post, and then we'll come back around later and do the second coat once this dries. So there are many ways to set your posts. If you're building the deck for the first time, this is probably how I would do it. I'll drop my post in, make sure it's lined up with the other posts, level it both ways, get it nice and plumb, and once it's plumb, you can brace it 1 or 2 directions to hold in position star pickets and screws. After that, you're good to pour concrete into the hole. But as we are experienced deck builders, we're going to have a more efficient way of doing it, and that is by essentially attaching our post to our bearer. That goes for the entire deck, propping the entire deck up with some staggered joists so that we're able to go ahead and concrete the whole thing and continue on with our frame. So up until now, we've marked the perimeter of our deck, we've marked out where we're digging our stumps, those have been dug out. Posts have been dropped into the size they need to be, bitumen painted, notched out. We've got our Waling plate along the house. So now we're going to build our bearers. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to laminate 2 lengths of 90 by 45 together. So we've got our 2 lengths of 6 meters here. You want the tops to be nice and flush. This will be the top that our joist will sit on. So if it's not flush and it's steppy, we're going to have problems. Get that nice and flush. So now that we've laminated the one side, we've chosen this to be our flush perfect side. I like to mark a T, so we reference that as the top. We then flip it over, and we're going to do the same on this side. The reason we shoot the gun on crazy angles is so that the bearer doesn't pull apart so easily. If you shot in straight like that, you can still pull it apart. All right, so we've attached our post to our bearer. As you can see, 2 batten screws for each post into our bearer. These are our joists. We've pinned it down that end along our whaling plate. Now we're going to pin it into our bearer. We're going to do that in a few sections across the deck so that we can then level it to the height that we need and go along to concrete. So we're attaching our bearer to the bearer. You'll find that we use batten screws a lot throughout the deck build. It just really holds everything together and means it will never pull out. You can't always rely on nails. All right, so now that our deck has been temporarily propped up with these temporary joists, we can go along with our spirit level, sit it across, adjust it, say we're happy, which right now it's actually sitting pretty good. We move on to the next joist, level that, and once it's all leveled and propped up, we can literally go ahead and concrete the whole thing. The level's telling me that this part of the deck needs to come up. Easy if you have a friend to help you. Max, you want to come down here and just hike up this part of the deck? Yep, from here? Yeah, from there's fine. Bit more. Chip some nails into there. That's actually spot on. All right, so the deck's been propped and leveled all the way throughout. We've got our concrete mixing station over here. We're doing 2 bags per hole is sufficient. Here's a bag I prepared earlier. And then you want to grab a shovel and ensure the concrete wraps all sides of our posts. We then step away and let that set, and we'll come back tomorrow to backfill with soil so no water ponds in the hole, and then we're good to continue with our frame. Good morning, we're back here on day 2. Today's plan, we're going to knock out our props, remove our temporary joists that have been used to prop up our deck. We're going to backfill our holes with soil. We're going to wrap our bearers with bearer protection tape. Then we'll set out our picture frame and breaker boards and infill with joists. So by the end of today, we should have the frame completely done, and I think we should be able to get a start on laying boards. Let's get into it. All right, so we're building the picture frame border for the shorter end of the deck. What we do is 295 90 by 45 joists and a 70mm block infill, nailed and screwed from both sides, spaced out roughly 450 apart, and that forms the picture frame border. So what's important is you want to plan out where your picture frame is going to sit so that you can have enough overhang for the fascia to sit under it, but then still enough meat on the inside for the infill boards to land on a full 45mm joist. So now that we've worked out where our picture frame is going, we're able to then mark and cut back our bearers so that it finishes flush with our frame, which is what we've done, and we can go ahead and screw it down. So we're now up to framing the breaker board for the center of the deck. We've cut blocks the same width as the deck board itself. That will be spaced out no more than 450 apart. That will go in between 2 joists like such. Nail and screw that together, and that will be the frame for the breaker board as I'm about to show you. So we've designed the deck around our set lengths of 5.4 meters, which is the length of the Ekodeck board. We're going to start with a full board down here with enough overhang to then be cut back later on. And down this section here, we're working to a 2.7 meter board, which is half the Ekodeck board, again with enough overhang to be cut back later. So this will mark where our breaker board will go, and that will be the divider of the 2 sections. Bonus points if you're able to line up a breaker board with a center or edge of a doorway. So in this scenario, we've actually lined it up perfectly with the start of our doorway. So now we're laying out our joists with maximum 450 centers. We'll overhang them so we can start laying boards from the house to then be cut back later on and work to a full board. All right, so we've loosely laid out our joists. We're now going along with our block. We've done some measurements to work out our exact spacings between each joist, which happens to be 390.8 millimeters. So we'll sit this down in between each joist, put it hard up. We'll then fix the joist down with 2 skew nails either side, and we might even go along and put a batten screw on every joist that might need it. All right, so we know that our bearers are dead level, but you still get various thicknesses in your timber. So to ensure your deck is dead straight, we run a string line from edge to edge with a 10mm packer other end. You want the 10mm packer to slide onto your string line perfectly, which it does here because we've already gone through, and wherever it might hit, like such, grab your planer, run that over it until you can slide your 10mm packer directly under the string line. That's how you know it's going to be dead straight across the width of the deck. The reason why we use this on all timber subframes is to prevent water from seeping into our timber frame. Easy to apply. can be removed and reapplied. And when you're working with composite boards with a minimum 25-year warranty, you want the subframe to last the minimum 25 years as well. So this will help. There you have it. Your subframe is complete and you're ready to move on to the next stage of your deck build, which is laying out and installing your Ekodeck boards.